Hi everyone, and welcome to our barn here at 4M Ranch. We've been getting a lot of questions about things that we hate about our barn and things that we love about it. So we thought we would do a short little video and go over those things with you today. So come on inside. So one of the things that I love about my barn is the concrete floors. When we originally built our barn, we didn't have concrete floors, we had dirt floors. So these are an add-on and they are absolutely worth the money. They cut down on the dust and just the overall nastiness that a barn has anyways. They help a lot with that. So that is my biggest love of my barn, which probably sounds crazy, but definitely my biggest love. Something else that I love about our barn is the open front stalls. We did these kind of as a trial and error because they are so much cheaper than the stall fronts that we had ordered for the other side, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I love that the horses can get the breeze that blows through. I love that they can stick their head out and feel a little bit more free and not so confined. And while we're talking about stalls, I also have these nice rubber mats that are in the bottom of every stall, which makes stall cleaning so much easier, and it's better for the horses' legs and feet over long periods of time. We do put bedding on top, but that was mostly just for a moisture purposes. It's not really because they need more cushion, because the mats themselves are pretty cushiony. So let's look up here. In our barn, we have also added 3 large garage doors. Those doors allow the breeze, especially in the summer, to flow through and keep the horses cool. And then you can see in the top corners, we also have the fans that blow down, and that helps a lot because if you've ever been in a barn in the summer, you know how hot it can get. So the floors, the open front stalls, the stall mats, the big garage doors, and the fans are 5 of my things that I love the most about my barn. And I'm going to kind of cheat and tell you one more thing. We built 12 by 12 stalls, and I highly suggest 12 by 12 stalls if you have large horses, so that they don't feel so confined. And on days when the weather is bad and they have to be up, or if there were to be an injury or anything like that, they aren't just in this little bitty teeny tiny stall going stir crazy. So those are the things about my barn that I love the most. And then Houston always makes fun of me because I have a big cozy comfy chair in my barn, but I think it's more because he's jealous. Because if you've not gotten one of these chairs for your barn where you can sit and rock your cat, you're missing out. That's all I'm going to say. So now let's go over 5 things that I hate about my barn. 5 things that I would change tomorrow if I had the money. One of them is this open feed room. I would love to have an enclosed feed room with insulation so that the dust is better, everything is sealed up. You can just look around and see the amount of dust that collects in here. Like I have my Poppy's old saddle in here that he had when he was young, and you can just see the amount of dust that's collected on it. And although it's important to me, it has to be in here because I don't have anywhere else to put it. And so if this was enclosed, it wouldn't be so nasty. I also would have the overhead storage if this was enclosed, so that I could put my totes up there, because after winter I usually wash and dry the horse blankets, and I like to store those in totes, and that would give me extra storage. So something else that I dislike about our barn are the sliding stall fronts. I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I told you a while ago that we would come back to these. So these are so much more expensive than the stalls on the other side. But when you close these, the doors are heavy. They don't always latch properly. If I pull on this, 90% of the time it opens back up. This one time it didn't, but most of the time it does not latch properly. The horses cannot put their heads out anywhere. It does have this little door, but I feel like that's just a safety hazard, the door getting pushed closed or open. I don't know. I don't leave them open. So I would take these expensive stall fronts out and go with the cheaper version. Something else about my barn that I would like to change is the fact that my hay storage is all down here. I have hay storage and shaving storage all inside. And I would love to have a side shed where I could put the hay, the shavings, all of that stuff would be great. So something else that I hate about my barn is that it doesn't have a side shed. You can see that my fly spray system here is still sitting on the ground and not hooked up. Something else I hate about my barn is the fact that we have mosquitoes and flies, but yet we have a fly spray system that's not hooked up. So maybe that can be a project this summer. Last thing that I hate about this barn is the fact that this hallway is not very wide. It's big enough to back a truck and trailer, like a hay trailer in, and unload the hay down there, but it's really tight. You have to be a real good driver, and I consider myself a decent driver, but it's still not great. Even when you have multiple horses in here just trying to get by each other, or if you have one tied and you're trying to get one around, it is tight. So I would suggest, I think, how wide is this? 12 foot. This is 12 foot. So I would probably go, 14? I'd probably at least do 14 if I was rebuilding. I think just a little bit more room would be perfect, especially in areas like we have a wonderful area up here for bathing horses, but we do not hardly ever get to use it because everything right here is so narrow. Like if you put chairs like we have, because if you have a barn, you're going to have a chair, and in the winter you're going to have a heater. Well, it just gets so tight right here. Sometimes the horses even get a little bit claustrophobic feeling. So we have this lovely drain. We have the floors slanted. We have the cross ties. We have a washer that will run down. But we don't hardly ever get to use this area to actually bathe animals. And since this isn't enclosed, if you're trying to bathe a goat or a horse over here and the water hose gets out of control, all of your feet get wet. So those are things that I hate and I love about my barn. And if you guys have any more questions, let me know in the comments and I'll try to address those.